Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to CodeTav Management. Before we write a single line of Spring Security code, we need to have a serious discussion for that. So that's why I thought to discuss four web application attacks I will explain in this lecture. So, like most security breaches in the real world, those are not advanced. So, you have seen in some movies some hacks are there, right? So those are not typical type of hacks. Those are not advanced, those are basic types, but basic types are the real world mainly. So they are basic misconfigurations of four fundamental vulnerabilities: CSRF, XSS, next is CORS, SQL injection. So if you don't understand how these attacks work, so Spring Security is not going to save you by magic. So today we are gonna act like hackers first. So we will break down exactly how to steal session cookies, how to bypass the login screens, and hijack user accounts. Then I'm gonna show you exactly how modern frameworks protect against them, right? So let's discuss about this. So first of all, the first thing is the CSRF. What does CSRF means? That is the cross-site request forgery. So like this is the attack number one, which I will discuss. So this attack tricks a user into performing an unwanted action on a website where they are already logged in. So here is the real life scenario. You log in some bank.com. The bank uses some session based authentication. So your browser stores a JSession ID cookie where your session based authentications are being stored. So now you open a new tab and click a malicious link like this. HTTP. First of all, see, there is not HTTPS. This is HTTP bank.com transfer to hacker, amount is 50,000. Then claim my money. So you will suppose you will click on that because your browser automatically attaches your session cookies to any request going to bank.com. The server thinks you made that request and the money transfers. So you just got robbed. Your 50,000 will be gone. So how do we prevent this? So to prevent this, CSRF tokens came into picture. So how the CSRF tokens prevent this? So the server generates a random UUID token and hides it from your front-end forms. When you submit a request, the server first checks if the hidden token matches the token in your session. But because the hacker on a different website, then he or she unable to read your hidden tokens, and then it will not match, and thus the fake request fail instantly. So you should also use the same site equals to strict. Means when you will be in the in particular site, suppose that bank.com, you will be in that particular site, then only your session IDs, your cookies will be utilized. If there that will be the separate browser, then your cookies should stop there. Like their cookies cannot be present. That's why your cookies will stop to send these activities. So whenever you will do the same site equals to strict on your cookies, it will stop the browser from sending them cross origin. So your cross origin activity will be stopped. So cross origin, any request, any cross site request will be stopped, and then this will be prevented. Okay. Now, the next is XSS. So XSS means cross-site scripting. So this allows an attacker to inject malicious JavaScript into web pages viewed by the users. So imagine you are opening a blog comment section and one hacker has typed this http attacker.com still then cookie, and in cookie what will be printed, the document.cookie. Like suppose when you will open, you accept some cookies, right? So that will be printed there. So that malicious string is stored in your database. So now every time an innocent user loads that blog post, their browser executes this script and it silently sends their JSession ID cookie directly to the attacker. So the attacker copies it, pastes it into their browser and hijacks the account. Correct? So how to prevent that one? So prevention, like to prevent these excesses, you must escape your output. You convert the dangerous characters like this greater than less than into safe HTML entities. Suppose that's why the YouTube also do the same thing. Suppose in a description or in a title, if you want to add this greater than sign or less than sign, then YouTube also doesn't allow it. The angular brackets are not allowed in the descriptions or in the title to prevent these activities. So you can use LT is the less than GT for the greater than with a AND operator. And if you use the Spring time leaf, then you need to use TH text. Automatically, it automatically escapes it safely. Never use the TH U text for user input. Finally, implement a content security policy. Also, you need to implement in the header to block external scripts from running. Okay. Now, the third thing is CORS. CORS means cross origin resource sharing. So, first of all, let's clear up a massive misconception. Like CORS is not a attack. So it is browser security feature. So CORS basically blocks the front-end application from calling the APIs on different origins. Like an origin is a combination of protocol, domain, and port, right? So origin is a combination of protocol, domain, and port. So you think for React, it is like HTTP localhost 3000. For Spring Boot, it is HTTP localhost 8080. Okay, those are different origins. As what? Why? Because the port is different. Maybe domain and protocol here is same, but port is different. As origin is the combination of protocol, domain, and port, if one will be different, then total origin will be also different. So if React tries to fetch the data, the browser will block. So how to fix this? To enable safety in Spring Boot, you explicitly tell the server who is allowed to talk to it using the cross origin annotation. So one cross origin annotation, it is there. So here origins I have added as HTTP localhost 3000 or by configuring it globally. Okay. So then if you will allow the localhost 3000, then the React origin can access that. Okay. Now next thing is SQL injection. So that is the final vulnerability in a is a classic, like that is the SQL injection. So this happens when a user manipulates your database queries by injecting malicious input. Okay. So look at the vulnerable hard-coded Java string. So like string query equals string select star from users where user name equals to something and password is this. So if the user enters or 1 equals to 1 as their password, look at what the SQL string becomes. So it will become like select star from users where username equals something or 1 equals to 1. So never concatenate SQL strings. Always use prepared statements. Why? Because 1 always equals 1. The database ignores the password check. It will return all users and bypasses the login screen completely. Okay. So never concatenate SQL strings. Always use prepared statement. So this forces the database to treat the user input strictly as data, not executable code. Okay. So it basically forces the database to treat the user input strictly as a data, not executable code. So better yet, you can use the ORM like Spring Data JPA, or you can use the Hibernate, which parameterizes queries automatically behind the screens. Okay. Now some interview questions I will discuss, like what is the difference between XSS and CSRF. So XSS injects scripts to steal the data, like client side issue. Okay. And CSRF forces the unwanted actions using the victim session. That is the server side issue. Okay. So CSRF is the server side issue. XSS is the client side issue. Now, can JWT prevent CSRF? Yes, mostly. So JWT are usually stored in local storage and sent via an authorization header. So the browser doesn't auto attach them like cookies. However, local storage is highly vulnerable to XSS. So that's why we always need to use JWT, and we use basically the BRR token. Okay. Or you can use the basic token as well, but BRR token is more secure. Is CORS a backend or frontend concept? So it is enforced by the browser, the front end, but it must be configured on the server backend. So if you understand these four concepts, you know 80% of real world web security. Now we are ready to conquer the Spring security. So hit the like button, subscribe to CodeTav management, and I will see you in the next masterclass. Okay. Till then, stay tuned. Bye everyone.